Hello, friend. Today is certainly an awesome day. Today is the day that I want to bring a new topic to talk about. The topic that I want us to look at today is the human psychological anatomy. Most people, if not all, are quite familiar with the terminology relating to the human physical anatomy. But when we speak about the human psychological anatomy, what exactly are we talking about? And let me put this to you. The human capital is the greatest asset the world has ever known. It is also the greatest asset the world will ever know. And if we are to accept that, why is it that we still don't seem to understand human nature? We still don't seem to understand steps to take to become the best brand of yourself. In the history of human existence, the reality is that most people never get beyond the utilization of 5% of their brain power. And why should that status quo maintain? So today I want to explore a topic, evaluate a new ideology, and I welcome you on this journey with me. Now, in my book, I refer to the human psychological anatomy, and that book is Self-Application Best Practices, Transforming the Minds, Cracking Billionaire Codes. And in looking at the human psychological anatomy, I try to identify what are those essential and healthy attributes that we all as human beings should strive to attain in representing a complete picture of the human psychological anatomy. And in that exercise, I looked at 5 essential characteristics that you need to internalize, you need to inculcate, and you need to apply in representing a healthy mindset. And the first concept that is introduced to you is what we call self-knowledge. How can you say that you're a complete human being without understanding who you are, without understanding that you are unique and you're special and you have untapped potential? So in this 6-part series, I will be showing you and giving you information that will help you to get a better understanding of yourselves. So when we talk about the human psychological anatomy, there's 5 things that you must understand. The first element is self-knowledge. The second element is self-confidence. The third element is self-application. The fourth element is bringing yourself to that point to be able to live a purpose-driven life. And the last, which is the 5th element, is coming to that point where you can experience self-actualization. Every human being should try to come to that point of embracing self-actualization. So what we're going to do in this discussion and this evaluation of human competency and the human psychological anatomy, I will be looking at these issues in 5 different parts. Today I will be looking at what we call self-knowledge. And what exactly should one internalize when we talk about self-knowledge? And I want to put to you, who are you? What is your purpose? I know that many of you are searching for those answers and you can't find those answers, and what I will attempt to do today is to give you some of those answers. Now, there's something that we call the DSS, the deeper sense of self. If you want to understand who you are, it is important that you connect with your DSS, your deeper sense of self. It's also important that you connect with what we call your passion. You should know your passion. This third thing that you should understand is, what is your purpose? You need to understand your purpose. Again, we are talking about the greatest asset the world has ever known and the greatest asset the world will ever know. We also need to look at your gifts. So permit me to evaluate each of the four headings on the self-knowledge to give you some clarity in terms of understanding who you are. Your DSS, or deepest sense of self, represents the ideal self, the looking glass self, the self-image, and the real self. Let's talk a little bit about your ideal self. How often have you looked at the media, looked at a movie, or you have seen someone of great status in life, and you say to yourself, I would like to be. I think many of us in our lifetime would have idealized someone to the extent that you want to be that someone. It happens. So if you don't idealize, a lot of people go through an experience in their life that we call the looking glass self, and that means that you're doing everything not necessarily to please you, but you're doing things to conform with how you perceive the public sees you. All of these things takes away from you becoming the best brand of yourselves. But these things do have an impact on your lives. There's also what we call the self-image. The self-image is all about how you see yourself. There's some people that have a negative sense of self, and there's some people who have a positive sense of self-worth. So we've looked at the three selves so far. Now allow me to blow your mind a little bit. There's what we call the real self. And what is the real self? The real self says that you have been molded and shaped with greatness. The real you states that it doesn't matter how successful you have become or you will become, that success still cannot begin to define the great substance that you have to manifest greatness in your life. And that's the real self. What I'm putting to you is that no tests, no exam, no system that attempts to evaluate who you are can truly encapsulate your potential to accomplish the richest possibilities in life. But most of you will never come to that point of understanding these realities for the simple reason that the 1% of the people in the world, well, some of them simply do not want you to get this information. You having this information will pose a serious threat to the status quo that most people have become accustomed to. But let's go to look at step 2, and that is your passion. What does your passion represent when we talk about you understanding who you are? What motivates you at your lowest moment? Can you remember that time when you were depressed, when you were sad, when you were down? But guess what? Something motivates you, something inspires you. You need to connect to those moments. What gives you self fulfillment and a glimpse of self actualization? These are questions you must ask yourself. You must investigate your passion. You must find your passion. You must leverage your passion because it is the only way to find self-fulfillment. It's the only way to find self-fulfillment. Your purpose. Humanity was born with a single purpose. That purpose is to serve. Humanity must understand the importance and significance of giving aligned service. And let me say this to you. Many of you, you're providing service in an area that is not aligned to who you are. You're simply providing service. And if you're providing service in this way, you will never reach that point where you can truly experience what is known as self-fulfillment. How many of you are working a job, but you're working that job simply because that job is a means to an end? It's a means to increase your disposable income. It's a means to pay your bills. It's a means to settle these things, but guess what? It doesn't provide a means for you to connect with who you are, for you to embrace and honor and cherish and worship who you are. And it's important for you to find you. It's the only way to live a fulfilling life. It's the only way to experience self-fulfillment. You must know in your heart, you must know in no uncertain terms that you were born to serve in the area of liking that you're serving in. We have probably just 1% of the global population who serve in alignment with who they are. The rest of the population, they are just providing service, and they will never come to that point of experiencing self-fulfillment and coming to that point of experience self-actualization and coming to that point where they can become the best brand of themselves. Your purpose must be aligned to your passion, and your passion must be aligned to people. Those are important concepts and principles for you to understand. When you want to become the person who can separate yourself from being average and become the person who can embrace your significance, and a person who can embrace your exceptional talent, and a person who can excel at becoming the best brand of who you are. I want to talk about your gifts now. Your purpose will complement your passion, and your passion will complement your gifts. You will never come to that point of embracing your gifts unless you can honor your passion and unless you can identify your purpose in living. I want to say this to you. Self-knowledge in alignment with your purpose, it will help you to get a better understanding of the human psychological anatomy. These are the information I've just given to you. They are essential embodiment of the concept that I have coined, the human psychological anatomy. And let me say this. There's a reason why human performance within the organization is not consistent. the high performance that you're looking for is not consistent. Or even when you find consistency, you're only finding consistency in high performance among 1% of your employees. The reason the remaining 90% will not give you the kind of exceptional performance that you want is because the 90 or 99% of the people who are within the organization, they are still searching for that sense of self. They are still trying to connect with a deeper sense of self. They are still trying to identify their purpose. They are still trying to identify their passion. They are still trying to connect with their gifts. Global Branding and Marketing, which is a management consultancy firm and an organization designed to help the human capital to tap into their greatness in an effort to help them to become the best brand of themselves. We're designing a different kind of academic and life skills program that truly helps the human capital to connect with self. And in connecting with self is to align that self to their passion and their purpose and their gifts, and that by extension is aligned to the organization. And because of the perfect alignment, people function better in the organization. People perform better and they achieve more in the organization, and then they're able to take the organization to a next stage of development. I trust you would have enjoyed this podcast. In the next podcast, I will be looking at some other critical factors to help you to better understand mankind. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the author of the book Self-Application Best Practices, Transforming the Minds and Cracking Billionaire Codes. Do enjoy until we meet again.